Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to By Brandon Jones. I am your host, Brandon Jones. And on this channel, we're going to cover all things human nature, psychology, sociology, human interactions. And one thing that I've been noticing of lately is crash out culture. People are crashing out. And I know what's going to happen now that we're post-election. Trump's coming back in. A lot of people are going to be blaming Trump for the crash outs. But I think we've been headed down this road for quite some time. And one of the things I want to do is highlight this and talk about what's happening. Now, I'm going to share a clip from a recent news recently in my area of the world known as the Twin Cities of Minnesota. This is in a suburb known as Bloomington, and this is where the Mall of America is located for folks who are not privy to the landscape here in Minnesota and the Twin Cities. And you're going to see an interesting dynamic. And not that this situation is something that doesn't happen and hasn't happened for years. I mean, we've had videos of what I'm going to show you for years, but there was an interesting factor in here, and I'm going to point it out to highlight this point of crash out culture. Now, about a week ago on this channel, I went live with a beautiful young woman who definitely has different political stands on from myself, and we talked about just the crashing out that women have kind of displayed over the last few days since the election or last week since the election. And we've seen tons of videos of people just literally losing their minds. I think there's a bigger thing going on here. I think the polarization of politics feeds into it, but I do want to highlight that there is a bigger phenomenon going on. And this phenomenon is beyond women. I think it's even beyond race, although I think different races are going to show how they crash out differently. It's not going to look the same, but we're going to see some very bizarre things taking place over the next few years. I also feel like the pandemic has played a role in this crash out culture that we're seeing as well. When people, literally all their areas of people activity have been um, impacted, and that impact has led to people literally losing their minds, and some would even say losing their souls as they're not connected to anything spiritual within this universe to help them guide and govern moral behaviors and ultimately just values that don't lead to destruction. That's a bigger conversation for another day. But I do think it's something that we do need to start talking about and highlighting because something's happening. And if you run into people in your life or even you yourself start to find yourself into this crash out culture, it can be very, very detrimental. People are losing their livelihoods, their family members are disconnecting from them, people are losing their jobs. It's crashing out is not the way to go, but I think this is a new standard, at least here in the United States. I don't want to really focus on other areas of the world when it comes to this, but here in the US, we're seeing people just lose it, man. They're just losing it. So let me pause and show the clip. And I actually might talk about Mr. Neely Fuller because I think that a train of thought of his actually leads into something that I want to share as well. But let me share the clip first. Here we go. One second. Crash out culture here.
The Bloomington Police Department also releasing some video showing an intense police chase and DWI arrest from last week. Last Friday, November 8th, 33-year-old Melvanti Lee Peterson of Blaine was charged with fleeing police, drug possession, and driving under the influence. 2 days earlier, officers responded to a head-on collision in the area of I-494 and Lindale Avenue South. Officers say Peterson was on the scene acting dazed and not responding in a normal manner before he took off. You can see the dash cam video of the squad cars chasing him and performing pit maneuvers. Police say it took 4 pit maneuvers to stop that car.
All right. This is crazy. Now, this gentleman was 33 years old. He's in the tail end of the millennials. And not only did he crash out and, have a car accident, um, or no, let me start here. Not only did he end up having a car chase with the Bloomington Police Department, and ended up, they have to use four pit removers to try to stop this goofy. He also ended up having a head-on collision car crash a few days earlier. This is what I'm talking about. That's the weird factor of this whole thing. And he's a young person, right? Old enough to know better, young enough to be stupid and to do things like this. But we're going to see a lot more people crashing out. This society that we're in is leading to something I think that's beyond a mental health crisis. It's being termed that, it's being labeled that, but we're in a whole new world when it comes to this crash out culture and seeing people who are doing these types of behaviors. It is not new to see a police chase. We've been seeing them all the time. I remember being a kid watching Cops. They have them all the time. I've actually seen a police chase. I've seen two police chases in person growing up. It's not uncommon, but when you have somebody who has this level of detrimental behavior within a 72-hour span, something so dangerous, you can lose your own life doing some stupid stuff like this. You have to ask the question, what is going on with society? What is going on with people? And where are we headed with this? Expect to see more of this. Now, we're about to hear from Bloomington's Police Department's sheriff, who I have a lot of respect for. So let's hear his perspective.
We locked him up. You can't do that. You can't hit somebody head on and think you're going to just drive away from that. We're not going to tolerate that here in the city of Bloomington.
A bit of good news. Chief Hodges says that the victim from the head-on collision is doing okay.
Shout out to Chief Hodges, man. He's doing the Lord's work in Bloomington as that city continues to have all types of crazy things happen. He's turning it up and making it happen for his community, and he's stepping up as a leader in that community and as a police official. And I've seen the work that this man has done. He touches both the community and he does the law enforcement piece. He's a true leader in this space, and I hope that we have more police chiefs like him as we go. Probably has a future in politics if he's if he's interested. I think he'll be amazing in some other areas. But ultimately, what I'm saying is this: we are in a space of crashing out. Something is taking place. Pay attention. If you are ever in this position where you feel like you're going to crash out, you might want to do something different. You might want to talk to a professional. You might want to select different activities because, this is not the way out, man. This is not the way out. And to be 33 years old and to be at this level of danger where he literally could have lost his life in the car crash or even in the interactions with the police officers, let's be honest. And to just be like not giving an F and just doing whatever. It amazes me. Now, there could be a level of chemical dependency here, right? He could be on some substances. There could be a level of mental health issues here. You could definitely have a mental health issue. Regardless of what it is, it's a problem. And I'm seeing more and more people doing this. And I'm going to be speaking on this crash out culture because I think we're beyond a phenomenon here. I think this is a new development in society. And again, this doesn't mean that people haven't crashed out over time, but there's something taking place here. And I hope that you're paying attention to it because I'm paying attention to it. It's beyond historical trauma if you're a black person. It's beyond white supremacy if you are in the BIPOC group. This is some new societal stuff happening, and we need to call it out, pay attention to it, and figure out ways to navigate it and strategize to the best of our ability. All right, folks. You may have noticed my background change in the video. Don't worry about that. Just pay attention to the content. I am Brandon Jones. This is by Brandon Jones, the YouTube channel. And I just want to make sure that people are paying attention. One thing I'm going to focus on is personal development, leadership, overcoming setbacks, something I call post-traumatic growth. It's time for us to really take the healing process and the personal and professional development amongst ourselves in our own hands. You can't sit back and wait anymore. This world has shifted. The shift is here. Don't get caught in the fray. Pay attention. Keep your head up. Keep your nose clean and keep your mind clear so you can be successful as much as possible. All right. Be safe. Be constructive. Be well. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd,